Hi Chris, thanks for your question. You asked about why Dresden was kept classified, and it's probably because that it was seen as an embarrassment by the Western Allied powers during the Cold War, particularly because they were trying to sway German public opinion into the Western democratic camp, and this was something that the Soviet leaders would have used against German public opinion, showing how horrific the Western Allies could be. So that's probably the reason why it remained classified when Vonnegut was researching his book. Incidentally, your figure of 23,000 dead in Dresden is probably closer to the truth than what Vonnegut cited as being 135,000 dead people. Not long after the bombing, Nazi officials estimated that about 35,000 people died in Dresden. However, they added a 1 in front of that figure in order to intensify how horrific this was and to show how evil Western Allied bombing was. The idea was to scare civilians and that there would be no compromising, it would be a fight to the finish. Apparently after the war, East German officials who were under Soviet-Russian control did stick with that figure of 135,000 dead, and so it stayed there for about 20 years. That figure was the best estimate that we had. And so this was used again against the Western Allied powers. Vonnegut was using David Erling's history book for that figure of 135,000 dead, and since that time, David Irving's research and his methods have been discredited. And then finally you asked about the reason behind the bombing. Well, it sounds like there are a couple different reasons behind it, and it was seen by the Western Allies as a transportation hub, as any larger city in Eastern Germany at that time would have been used for transportation, pumping war material into the Russian front, not too far away. Also, some historians have said that Dresden just came tripping off the tongue of one of the Allied planners. All the other larger cities had been bombed, and Dresden was just next on the list. It had been pretty much untouched by the war, and so this was just simply the next target on that list. And then beyond that, some other historians have said that Dresden was meant to be an example. The Western powers were trying to show the Soviet Russians what Allied air power could do. And so here taking a basically untouched city and gutting it with a firebombing was, in a way, meant to be as a show of force, trying to persuade the Soviet Russians to either go no further than the Western Allied occupation or to join them in the war against Japan. So thank you for your question. I hope that helps you. Good luck.